push out soon now that Hectic's got the gold online, who also has around 1,000 unspent minerals. A bit of a slip for both these players. So interesting to find out who's going to make the first move.
Just so many units on the field though for Hectic. After he's got his expansions up, he's just got a lot more units on the field. Uh, Pinder's units are very expensive, of course, though. So these Immortals and these High Templars now, with Storm still not researched from what I can tell. So yeah, it's on its way right now. So this could be tricky timing if Hectic attacks right now. He's got a lot of units warping up, spawning right now. So before these storms are up, it's a bit of a worry for Pinder.
Yeah, big Hydra Roach Ball there, while we see Hectic just trying to get information of his own, picking up that there is 2 robotics facilities there. Got to watch his supply cap there, got to make sure that he's warping in those pylons. Otherwise he's going to be right up against his supply cap. We are seeing those mortals coming in, more Stalkers, finally Gateway units joining the mix here. But there's a bunch of High Templars still with no Psystorm, and interestingly, he'll need to get that Kadarian amulet online very, very quickly after taking care of Psystorm, because he's going to want to warp in more and more Templars and use his gas on that. We are seeing Pinder is basically stuck from his wall, and curious how he's going to get through. He does destroy his forge, so that's had to destroy his own forge there. It's a bit unfortunate, which is one of the drawbacks of a Protoss walling, but looking like Pinder might actually move out here, while we do see Hectic hit the panic button. 28 Zerglings, 30 Zerglings coming in now, trying to burn his excess minerals, which he has heaps and heaps, looking around 170 food compared to 138 for Pinder, but similar banked resources. Both players need to spend a little bit heavier, but a bunch of these Immortals taking out these rocks, so Pinder's going to use this push to disguise his expansion into the gold, so got to be really careful here. Looking like Hectic pushing out though, trying to take the initiative away, but no, he does fall back, so a little bit of a standoff going on right here.
Yeah, the storm is finally up, of course, and these High Templars do have enough for a couple. So it will be a very worrying time because there's such a huge wall of units there for Hectic. They're engaging now. Force field going down, storms going down. These roaches focus firing, but there's so many storms going down, destroying these Hydralisks. Oh man, there's so many, but it looks like Pinder will have to retreat because there's just so many units. The ability for Zerg just to spawn all of those Zerglings as a panic button, as more storms coming down, so useful. Really helped him take up a lot of that damage as these Stalkers and one High Templar retreat to the back here.
Yeah, really need to do more damage to those Hydras. Hydras will do nasty things to Gateway units and even Immortals when left to their own devices, and these are 1-0 Hydras up against 2-0 Stalkers. So interestingly though, Pinder falling back, but he is in a position to clean up this Hydra army here. He's got to be careful. He really needs to make sure that Gold's expansion survives. Although both players letting their macro slip a little bit, up at 1,500 minerals for Pinder, while 2,700 for Hectic, which is a bit uncharacteristic for both these players. But looking like Hectic is just trying to drop the Nexus here, even sacrificing his Hydras on a Nexus drop. Do not think he's going to get it. So that's a bit of a mistake there from Hectic, allowing Pinder to keep his gold expansion while he sacrifices an army to do it. And these Overlords, looking like if Pinder reacts to these Stalkers, you're going to be able to have an Overlord frenzy as a bit of a missed rally point going on over there, as we see that these Overlords do get taken out and they do not have speed upgrades, so that's going to be very, very bad for Hectic, although he is with a wide open gap, so it's not too terrible. A bit of a mistake there. Desperately trying to get a round off now for Hectic. These Stalkers do not have blink, they are trapped. Bringing in some Zealots to try and help clean them up, but these Feedlings do nasty things to that many Stalkers. Cannons warping in, which are going to carry the day, but now Hectic coming in with more Zerglings. He basically produced Zerglings all day long with so many minerals backed, but he needs more hatcheries to burn through it. He does a bunch of lava here that he really, really needs. So many lava all over the place. He really needs to start using more effectively, but we are seeing +2, +1 carapace coming online here with 2 attack weapons, so really interesting situation for both players, with Pinder in a good spot with now that he's got his gold and defended his gold, but Hectic has his gold and he's taking his 4th. So both players, despite basically trading their armies off and a little bit of a mistake by Hectic, have really evened out here, and I think Hectic has surrendered his advantage to Pinder now.
He does have all these expansions though, with another one, as I say that, coming online right now. So, man, really not not worried about expanding. He's just constantly doing it. He's not going to be short of any minerals anytime soon because they're both banking so much. But really, it was just unlucky for Hectic to actually fight near those 4 cannons because a bunch of those have a lot of kills, and he could have actually cleaned up a lot of those Protoss units without those cannons to help. But as it is, he was attacking, so that's the drawback there. As more cannons, this big cannon party going on in Pinda's bases really wants to block off as this one little Zergling is going to try and take out this probe as these Stalkers take out that Zergling. But just the ability for the Zerg player just to constantly mass these units on mass as he's got 4 hatcheries now is just amazing. And really he can just afford to throw away these units as he just keeps knocking on the door of Pinda.
Yeah, we are seeing a bunch of High Templars joining this Immortal party in the middle. Although, it's got to be careful because Hectic is getting a bunch of Roaches now, but he's going very, very Hydra heavy, and these Immortals are not so great against the Hydras. He's relying purely on the Storm to work through the Hydras. The Zealots and the Stalkers are not as great, especially in these wide open spaces of Lost Temple where the Hydras can get a nice, good convex angle, and if they're micro correctly, can basically avoid most of the Storm damage. Just going to be careful. Here we are seeing them go off. The Storm going off in the Hydra lines. 2 nice Storms. He's got to move his Hydras. Lots of Storms going off. These Immortals soaking up the shots, but the Hydras are working on them, starting to melt through them. A lot of these Hydras are super, super low in the red. One more Storm would have finished him off, but he is going to wipe this army out. Not sure what the Corruptor's there, just as an insurance policy against the possibility of Colossi there. But still, this entire game, this sneaky Overlord is still there. Hectic is still getting all this information from this nice little spot here. And Hectic has won this engagement, so now Pinda's behind. But he has wisely now started spending his excess minerals on cannons, which is a good situation. He's able to keep up with his unit production and able to use this as kind of a defensive position, although we do see Hectic pushing against it, bashing his head against these defenses. These Zerglings and Roaches are not joining the main fight. He's got to bring them across. Now Pinda is bringing them across to mop them up. Nice control there by Pinda, who's just executing a lot better than Hectic right now. Hectic has that massive macro, banking 2.3k, 1.7k, so he has so much minerals and so much supply room right now. And we do see Pinda returning to form and spending his minerals a little bit more effectively, but he's on 4 base, while Hectic is on 5 base, just not mining from his 5th right now. So both players in a huge macro situation, looking at the income, very, very even, but there's a little bit of a harvester advantage to Pinda, but he's still behind slightly, harvester advantage to Hectic, but he's still slightly behind in terms of Pinda, who's been chrono boosting a few probes. So still even at this point, as both players basically splitting the map and macroing like crazy.
In a game like this, it's curious to find out really the long-term game plan for these players as the Ultralisk Caverns on the field for Hectic. I saw that in the production menu. I'm not sure where it is, but he's looking to go for Ultralisk in a second. So meanwhile, just really more of the same for Pinda. It's just more High Templars, more Immortals, more Stalkers. So really not much changing. He's just using his upgrades, being very good about that, trying to get those up while there's a bit of a lull. But yeah, we should see a lot of these Ultralisks on the field in a couple fights, so I have to see how that works out, because it can absolutely demolish these Warp Gate units.
Yeah, crucial upgrade for the Ultras being researched now. Chitness played more sight and Sty Storms going off on these Hydras. He's got to be really, really careful. This is going to favour Pinda here, trying to get a surround off, but there's still more Immortals. This High Templar is stuck, doesn't have enough for Psystorm. More Stalkers joining the party. He doesn't have any more Storms left, so this Hydra is able to go to work, forcing Pinda to retreat there, looking really, really good with those nice opening Storms, but Hectic was able to hold the line and still not interested in pushing forward, and he does have a hitchhiker here of Pinda's Observer following him all over the map, while we do see Pinda finally starting to bottom out in minerals, just getting extra bases on right now, and his gold is out. He has all these probes, all these drones just sitting around not mining. This is a bit of a mistake here for Hectic, as he's almost mined out in his natural. He is mined out in his main, and these guys are just chilling out doing nothing. So he really needs to get his economic advantage, as we do see Pinda pulling ahead 1800 over 1100 despite only being 2 harvesters up. So bit of a slip there by Hectic.
Yeah, these Ultralisks now popping, and they're rolling across the field. With a bunch of these upgrades already done, the armor upgrades all done right now. So, oh man, these Ultralisks can be the deciding factor. Either way, they are very expensive though, so if he's not good with these and he loses them all, that will be very devastating. There's this one sneaky observer though.